Following the end of World War II, Europe was completely devastated. Casualties were in the millions, and a vast majority of the countries lay in ruins and despair. Following the war effort, European countries' economies had almost diminished, as millions were unemployed and even more businesses shut down. It was widely evident that extreme political ideologies became more fashionable during times when countries were in financial ruin, much like Germany in 1929 and Russia in 1917. The US government saw post-war Europe at risk of the influence of communism and required some way to return Europe back to its original state. In 1947, the Marshall Plan, officially dubbed the European Recovery Program, was launched by the US Secretary of State George Marshall and aimed to provide economic support towards the rebuilding of European nations in order to prevent these countries from turning to communist satellite states. Not only this, but the US relied on Western Europe for trade between both its government and independent businesses. The plan was not only offered to Western aligned countries but also to those behind the Iron Curtain. The USA took interest in the whole continent's economic growth as well as the political benefits of a united Western aligned Europe. In total, $13.15 billion sent from the US and was divided between European nations. Stalin and the Soviets recognized the Marshall Plan as an example of economic imperialism, where the US would use its wealth to gain support and power over foreign nations to ensure a capitalist ideology remained in the country. As a result, Stalin banned all Soviet satellite states from accepting US aid. Instead, Stalin organized a Soviet equivalent of the Marshall Plan in 1949, known as Comecon, Council for Mutual Economic Assistance. It aimed to provide support and bring economic stability to the Eastern Bloc. It condemned Comecon countries to accept US aid or even trade with the West. Unlike the Marshall Plan, Comecon did not consist of one wealthy superpower to supply aid to poorer countries in need. Instead, countries were made to work together to share resources in a way that would benefit them all. Officially, Comecon acted as a union of equal partners who must follow the same communist economic principles, yet in reality, all decisions were made by Moscow. As a result of these two opposing sides, economic recovery in the West made communist parties less popular, and similarly in the East, capitalist ideologies were less widely accepted. Both economic programs brought about unity to the two different sides of Europe, yet also further defined the dividing line of the Iron Curtain.